Hi. Hi. Oh, hi. You can't do like Asian racist accents anymore, huh? Well, welcome to the Pinball Party Podcast. I miss doing the Asian accent from the 90s. It's terrible, right? But
Figure it out.
yeah. People aren't gonna like that. But if I could do an accent of a white, if I was, let's say, Asian or black or anything other than a cis white male, I would definitely be doing white male accents on the daily because we sound really dumb. I apologize to anyone out there who is not a white male, especially in the Midwest. I probably sound terrible, and that's a bummer for you. But you're tuning in anyways to listen to me talk about pinball. Hello, my name's Jason. I've thus far burned a few bridges, especially with the Asian demographic, and this nonsense is getting us nowhere. So let's talk about pinball. We are going to talk about why, I don't know, Labyrinth, all the shit, all the news you want. Don't come here for it. Go to Knapp Arcade, KNAPP Arcade. Dude's just basically, I don't know if he's a treasure chest of pinball news and he's just found the key to open it, or let's use another analogy. He's another chest of pinball news, let's say, but he's had a rusty lock this whole time and someone got some lube in his hole and creaked that fucker open, and now he's just exploding after they lubed his hole with news. Maybe in the lack of a pinball show the last couple of weeks. But hey, there's a fantastic Triple Drain podcast on the Pinball Network. Go check that out recently, and a couple other ones. But I've been busy doing fucking drywall. Does anyone like mudding drywall? If please, come do mine. I'll just pay you. I'm sick of adding this dumb wall into my basement. So thank you, Joel and Travis and Tom, for keeping me busy in my ears while I'm mudding drywall and hating every second of it. Every coat, every sand, every dust that I'm inhaling, every feathered edge. Anyway, no more drywall talk. Let's get back to pinball. But speaking of Triple Drain, they recently talked about their top 5 favorite pinball machines, and I will do the same here shortly. Part of kind of a media thing, conglomerate. We're all talking about our top 5, and kineticists, whatever, no editing. I don't do that anymore. You know who I'm talking about. Thanks for reaching out. He was like, hey, we should all talk about our top 5 favorite games. I'll put them into this big package, and we'll release them. I'll touch on whatever new news has happened recently, but I haven't been paying much attention. So again, go to Knapp Arcade, listen to pinball shows, Triple Drain, go to Pinside, whatever, go get all your news there. But I've seen the reveal of Labyrinth. Looks, my first impression was looks awesome. I can't find any faults with it from a visual standpoint. I haven't played it, obviously. I wish I would be playing it at Expo. I initially was going to go to Expo. I had everything booked. Was going to meet a bunch of people there and all that. But hey, again, balance in the life. I need to take a little step back from being obsessed with pinball. But that is one thing I'm going to miss to play because it looks great. Labyrinth looks great. I was never a Labyrinth enthusiast. Movie, I should say. I wasn't opposed to it, but that was never one of my growing up movies that like fit into, my social circle, or it wasn't up there with, as a kid, Ghostbusters, He-Man, well, maybe the cartoon, but also Masters of the Universe, Back to the Future, Star Wars, the ones that all me and my friends all talked about and quoted all the time. Labyrinth wasn't. I believe my sister, who was 2 years older than me, it was a movie that she watched quite a bit, and it was in her bag. It was in her bag, baby, in her wheelhouse. So I really like the aesthetics of Labyrinth, the visuals, the kind of, as someone I think I've seen the movie once, I can't quote it, I don't know any scenes, I can't go in depth. Someone who does not know the movie well, but is like, oh, that's fine. David Bowie's cool. It looks great. And the goblins, again, are the goblins the kind of cross between the Hobbit, the old Hobbit cartoon and comic. Who's the director of that? No editing, right? Let's just who Googled Hobbit cartoon movie. Who's that director? They always reference some. Rankin Bass. Their art style, it looks very reminiscent of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Rankin Bass, Hobbit. It's like a cross between that and the Dark Crystal. Is it Jim Henson? It's Jim Henson, right? Yeah. So makes sense. But it's not like Spooky or American Pinball where you see the seams right away, like, oh, that's nice. And then you look like a little bit closer and like, oh, it's kind of bad. It kind of looks cheap. No offense. It's not like they're not trying hard. Just, again, first impressions. It's like, whoa, this looks, yeah. It's like if JJP did it, but did it really well without all the rainbows and sparkles. Like, just nailed it. I've seen the trailers. I've seen the pictures. I've listened to a little bit of feedback, online. Has there been feedback? I don't know. I've heard about as much as you have. I'll just say that. And a few texts with some people. Looks great. Does it play great? Don't know. The audio, I can't tell. Maybe it's just a little, I don't want to say lacking from like, oh, it's not good quality. But I haven't seen it. The trailers. I'm maybe wanting a little bit more audio, but again, maybe they're just not, plugging it through. Maybe I'm not hearing it. Maybe whatever. Trailers look great. They're prepping for a gameplay reveal, and first impressions are just wow. I'm hesitantly optimistic. But from my history or experience on something that's not Stern, which maybe is going to come through in my top 5 games, is like, well, we'll see. Nothing against the others. Anyway, please, Labyrinth and team, Barrel of Funkers. Who are these people? Barrel of Fun, Labyrinth Pinball, Barrels, Whiskey Barrel team. Barrels of Fun Company. Fantastic name. If I was to review the name of your company, I would give it an A because that's pretty great. And hopefully it's not barrels of trash when it comes out. Barrels of dung. Please surprise us. Hopefully the carpet matches the drapes, as in the fun is as good as it looks. Labyrinth by Barrel of Fun, coming soon to your very expensive wallet. Put it in your breezeway like I do, or haul it downstairs, break your fucking back, regret it a week later because you didn't get to test it because it's a pinball machine before you played it, and it's not that much fun. Repeat. Trade it, sell it. Hey, yo. We'll see. Labyrinth coming to a store near you. Near you? JCPenney. Maybe JCPenney's covering it. That's what we need. We need a renaissance of like JCPenney, fucking Yonkers. Go buy your pinball machines at Penny's. Go talk to that 15-year-old fuck in a high school selling pinball machines. Let that salesman or saleswoman, hi, can I interest you in this $8,000 pinball machine? Let's do that. If we move into that world where you buy pinball retail, I'm back in. You're getting meth back. You're getting full audio, all the type of weird shit that I used to put in. Not that I never will again, but yeah, I'll come in back full hard. I'm coming back full hard will be the first name of the episode once it goes retail. Aside from Labyrinth, Rocket Man apparently going to be at, or quote, supposedly going to be at Expo JJP. That's probably how most people feel, right? Rocket Man, you say, huh? That's the best you got. Elton John, fantastic musician, music, perfect. But when we're looking through our bank account, we need to make some money. Let's get the license that everyone wants. Well, this is going to do it. We all know, right? All right. Well, I'll say it at once. The whole team of 5 JJPs. All right. Let's all say it. 1, 2, 3, and no one said Elton John. But they're doing it. But it's Steve Ritchie, and that dude makes flow for days. And I love shooting a Ritchie game. For better or for worse, I love hitting Ritchie's ramps. Yeah. I can't think of most of his games. I've never found a Ritchie game, maybe Star Wars, that I don't. I even like shooting it. I like the horseshoes in Star Wars. Actually, Pro better, but every Ritchie game, at least I'll shoot it and be like, that feels good. Rocket Man. Let's do a dual theme, please. We'll have Rocket Man for the 2 to 3 people that buy it, and then we'll have Matrix, something else for everyone else that wants an awesome theme pinball machine that'll shoot incredible. However, we will see what Mr. Ritchie gets to do with a much larger budget at JJP versus Stern. Those are the rumors anyways. We'll know in about, a week? I'll be in Door County for those in the Chicago, Illinois, Wisconsin. That's where I'm going to be instead of the previously planned trip to Expo. My wife and I are going to Fish Creek for a few days. We fell in love with Door County 10 years ago. It's a great, tranquil place, yeah, to get away and just not do real life, but eat great pizza at Wild Tomato. Holy shit, I want to franchise that place personally, and and relax. So Expo is in a week. We're gonna see a bunch of other stuff. Ninja Apocalypse, Ninja Escape, Ninja Gaiden. I don't know, that other pinball machine that looks broken. We'll be at Expo. There'll be a bunch of stuff. Instead of speculate, let's just get into my top 5 games. So, a bunch of medias are talking about their top 5 games, as previously mentioned, and they're going to be all conglomerate. So, I'll just start. However, whoever cutting these, feel free to cut and paste however you'd like. But here's where I start. My top 5 games from Jason at the Pinball Party Podcast, courtesy of, actually, I was going to say myself, but this one will be courtesy of the only and best place to buy pinball machines, and that is Flippin' Out Pinball.
When I buy my pinball shit, I buy from Flippin' Out. From toppers, sharp plates, out, I've got it figured out. Flippin' out, figured out. When I think of pinball, I think Flippin' Out. Flippin' out, figured out. When I buy, I buy from Flippin' Out. Buy.
I should have added that harmony. Shit. Some other time. It might be buried in there. There's a few. Anyway, top 5 favorite games. Let's start, I guess, we're doing honorable mentions, right? I think honorable mentions are very important in pinball because, just to use a video game analogy, because that's all I got again and again, because board games aren't up there, anymore. We're not comparing this to Monopoly in life anymore. Video games are so much more accessible because they're not $10,000. You could play tons of them in a day. You could deal with Steam refunds. You could do whatever. They're, quote, cheap, especially compared to pinball. There's a lot more you can get into. And so going through the billions of games and just having a definitive list is much, I think, more apt. But in pinball, the quantity is not nearly substantial. So I think having a couple honorable mentions is justified much more here than other realms of entertainment. And because the game, and what I mean, I guess, by there's so much more quantity. In pinball, you spend $10,000 on a game, average $8,000, whatever, and you play it a lot, you will get bored of it. If you're of the vast majority of intelligent human beings, that's you will get bored of something. But so you can't keep all of your favorite games, at least I can't, in one place. So your favorites vacillate to a certain extent. But I took my 5 that I was like, all right, Desert Island, basically. Like, yes, I'll get bored of them, but the theme means something to me. I will go back to it eventually. It's not a game that I never want to fucking touch it again, which I actually have a personal list of games that I will never, because I've bought in games multiple times. I do have a list that says, Jason, don't buy that again. And I'll do that on another episode, worst 5, or don't buy these ever again games. We'll talk about that. So honorable mentions, and yeah, I'll just say my honorable mentions. One of them, speaking of Steve Ritchie, is Black Knight Sword of Rage Pro. I absolutely love that game. Well, I guess not absolutely, because it's not in my top 5. There is a lot of things I love about it. I love the speed. I love the center shot, the main shot, the mode shot. Is it the mode shot? For people that know, it's the main shot, and the ramp and the flail. It's a super satisfying shot. I love it. The music is great for a little while. As someone who finds metal appealing, I really do like it. And a double bassman myself, a lot to like. I like shallow games as part of, you'll hear soon, as a whole, in a certain standpoint. But that one's almost too shallow, like it's missing something after a while. I don't know. I don't want to knock it because it's an honorable mention of my top whatever. But it's great to shoot. It's super simple to explain to a noob, which is often when you're going to play with a family or friend. Joel TM, you want that. Shoot for this and do that, and not Godzilla. Yeah, hit the center, but Black Knight's you can explain the whole game in like a few sentences, which, okay, is often the biggest barrier to entry of there's this overwhelming, do I want to take the time to learn this? That kind of just goes away in that game, which is, okay, that's nice. So Black Knight Sword of Rage is one of my honorable mentions. And I'm not saying it's number 6 or 7, it's just an honorable mention. Another honorable mention is, I'll say, just the game that kind of, when I was younger, was the first one to keep me interested in pinball beyond just hitting it. And that is Addams Family. That's where I spent the most time in high school getting to learn that pinball was deeper than, just flailing. Spending a lot of time with Steve and James and John, smoking cigarettes and playing weed and playing Addams Family. Usually in the reverse order. We would smoke a bowl on the way to the bowling alley or the hotel, where we had to fake we have a room here to play because there's no place around here to really play it. Or to a Little Caesars, get high, smoke a cigarette, and then play Addams Family for as long as we could, and then smoke a cigarette and repeat. I learned about modes in the mansion, and I learned that there's a rule set to be taken seriously, if for lack of a better phrase. And the theme was just good. And yeah, Addams Family taught me to love pinball. So I think it easily deserves honorable mention. Do I want to go back and play it these days? I mean, I'll flip it. I'll flip it. You know what I mean? But it's up there. I'll just leave it at 2 honorable mentions because then we could go on. But let's talk about my top 5 favorite pinball machines. Oh, and I should say, I believe I've reviewed all of these on previous episodes. Ooh, except for one of them. All of them, but I'll say which one I haven't. But starting with number 5, another Steve Ritchie. This is Stern's Star Trek. This was my first game I purchased. Stern Star Trek Pro, to be specific, was the first one. A good low barrier to entry. As a Star Trek fan, growing up on Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager and the original movies, especially Wrath of Khan and On, the first one, whatever. My parents were Trekkies, and this game, I went between Next Generation and this as my first game because it was I think $4,000 was my budget back then. I think this cost me $4,200. Bought it from a guy in Rochester, Minnesota. He showed me how to load a game in the back of my vehicle. And I got home, and we all can relate, I think, to the first pin experience. It's pretty cool. My family was there. They live in the neighborhood. My parents, I should say. So they were there, like, helped me unload it. And my wife and daughter were, like, at the door, like, you got it. Like, let's load it up. And they all helped and figured out how to put the legs back on and turn it on. And everyone was just like, whoa, the lights and the sounds and Star Trek. And everyone was kind of blown away. And it was a, monetary big purchase. And I had never played the game because that was the first time of getting into this. And it wasn't that I had slowly been playing a lot of pinball machines and then I wanted to buy one that I've been playing. It was just, I want to buy a machine and let's get nuts. And here we are today, Pinball Party. But yeah, Star Trek, Stern Star Trek. From the simple rules to me are kind of the worst part of that game. Whatever. But the sound, the visuals, the warp ramp, for holy fuck's sake, probably my favorite shot in all of pinball, the warp ramp. It's so good. It's so smooth. Even when that game gets boring, I'm like, well, I'll just hit the ramps. They feel great. And I've owned all three trims. I started with the Pro. Then the next one I had the Pro, I think, like 3 times. The same machine, actually. And then the LE was like, right, the LE, this is the way to go. But I realized, well, the way to go is the premium because it's the best of both worlds and not too expensive. Got the premium, and I was like, shit, actually. Actually, I think Pro or LE is the way to go. For 2 different reasons. The LE is the most beautiful. The side art rails are cool, right? Don't get me wrong. But when you're playing, you never notice it, so it doesn't really matter. It's neat. Not that neat. Worth that much money. But the blue powder coat really matches the blue aesthetics. I was going to get the premium blue powder coated, but it doesn't really match because of the red and all that. But there's my neuroticism. There you go. That's how my brain was working. Of like, oh, okay, I'll keep the premium, but I got to make it blue. Oh, then it doesn't fucking match. Maybe I'll change the translate. And then maybe I'll get more decals and completely waste time for no reason. I'll sell it anyways. What the fuck? But I really like the warp ramp chase lights, the difference, and the stars projectory thing during Klingon multiball. But why I like the LE is for those reasons. But the Pro, those plastic ramps are really fast, really smooth, and silent. Although I like the zzz of the metal, I really have a fondness for plastic ramps. It's smooth. I don't know. It's an aesthetic thing. But yeah, for those reasons, aside from the rules, which are fine, the theme, the gameplay, the man, Stern Star Trek, it's great. And it's if a Desert Island, that would be my number 5 for owning, and subsequently in my top 5. My number 4. This and number 3. They were like, I don't even know if this is the correct order, but let's just do it. Number 4 is Stern's Ghostbusters. For those who listened to a somewhat recent Pinball Party, Kale and Rachel and I reviewed Ghostbusters and we creamed all over it. Rightfully so. If you want to hear more in depth about why I and others love that game so much, beyond the little talk I'll do here, go listen to whatever episode. Just Google it. It's in Pinball Party. Yeah. Actually, it'll be on the Pinball Network. Those ones are there. Yeah. So if you want to hear the Ghostbusters Pinball Party, go check the other feed in Pinball on the Pinball Network for the Ghostbusters review. But that game was shortly after I got Star Trek Pro. I played Ghostbusters. Was it? It might have been around the same time, maybe before I bought it. I couldn't remember. I can't remember. Who cares? I played it. I hated it because I love Ghostbusters and I was like, this game is the hardest game ever. Fuck this. I hate it. And then over time, I realized, like, oh, difficulty actually is a good thing, so you don't get bored. And someone convinced me to have it in the home, and I did, and I fell in love with it. Very similar reasons, except for the rules. The difference here in Star Trek are the rules in Ghostbusters are awesome. There's so much to do. Can they get linear? Yes. Any game can. Again, this is pinball, like I said before. Every game, unless you're is going to get boring eventually. Even Godzilla, everyone out there, deepest. Yeah, it gets boring pretty fast. Ghostbusters is a lot to do. You can kind of pick and choose in a way for those who know what I'm talking about. If you don't, there's a couple mode ladders, a couple multi-balls. So the rules are great. The difficulty, I think, is great. Aside from maybe the metal outlines, which sometimes are just like, God, you got to be fucking kidding me. Just don't go down the side. Physics, stop it. Yeah, aside from those, the audio, top notch. Art, top notch. And by audio, I mean both music and sound and callouts, all of it. The playfield, top notch. There's so much variety. The Spike 1 is kind of a sweet spot. Yeah. Since I reviewed it so recently and you heard me talk about it, Ghostbusters, go check it out. Don't buy the hate of people talking about the flipper gap and all that. Yeah. But it's a fantastic game. Number 3 is Stern. Little pattern here. Stern's Iron Man. I mentioned earlier that I do like simple games, and Iron Man is my favorite simple game, even beyond Black Knight. So let's say it's not just for family and friends, but I'll say what I mean here in a second. Family and friends, though. Hey, what do? Well, you bash Ironmonger. You see that on the playfield. There's these 4 things. There's Ironmonger, there's War Machine, there's Iron Man, and there's Whiplash, and you want to complete all those. So like, okay, how do you do that? Well, you hit that, you hit that, you hit that, and you hit that. Is that it? That's it. Okay. But then you realize it's pretty fast and, it's easier said than done. But that's it. It's great. Why I find, when I said like not just friends and family, why I find that simplicity great, even though I've gotten to, do or die many times, not the do or die multi-ball, but is that my most often time playing pinball, not only, but most often is honestly when I'm waiting for like chicken to cook. And like, what? But I cook chicken like every other day. I prepare meals, my own meals. I eat very, very weightlifter type, if you know what I mean. But I always have about 30 minutes of like, all right, chicken's cooking or broccoli's going. I roast it. So vegetables about 30 minutes at 450 degrees will get you nice and, toasty broccoli or Brussels sprouts. That's my most often because I have machines up in my breezeway, which is upstairs. It's like, well, I got 30 minutes. What am I going to do? I could stare at a wall. I could read a book. But, I'm not going to read a book. Listen to a podcast, but I'm not going to listen to a podcast and stare at the wall or listen to a podcast and read a book. So I often play pinball. That 30 minutes, mind you, has to be broken up with like maybe flipping the chicken or changing something. So like every 5 to 10 minutes, being able to stop is good. So if I'm going to play Lord of the Rings, like, goddamn, I better be cooking a very large chicken, the likes of which none of us have ever seen, or Godzilla, same kind of thing. It's a long thing. So I oftentimes like a quick in and out. I like variety, in and out, but it's very appealing to not have to really think and just, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Game's over. Cool. Done. I don't have to, chopping wood, sure, but I don't have to chop a lot of wood. I like that. There's something about the simplicity that really attracts me to that game. So beyond that, if that was the rules, the audio, ooh boy, I love the audio in that game. I know a lot of people know there's a custom mix out there with a little bit of AC/DC added, a couple songs. I have it hosted on Pinside if you need it. I think it's 1.86 code for the Vault Edition. I added tweaked a couple things and added some Justin Hammer stuff. So if you need it in the Vault Edition, it's out there. Just Google it. But I'm going to permanently host that because I love what's done. I didn't come up with the sound package. I tweaked a couple things, but I love the sound. I love the feeling of speed is a lot from the sound because it's not nearly as fast or brutal as like Walking Dead, I don't think, or Black Knight, but with the and all the rocket sounds and blaster shit, it makes you feel like you're kicking some ass. The theme is good to great. Iron Man's a fantastic movie. And I love it for its simplicity, its ease of access, and it's like let's fucking party. You want to play a game? Let's go. And you go in, and when you're done, you're done. You're not thinking about strategy later, much. But so number 3 is Iron Man. So number 2 and number 1, depending on the day, this would switch. But I got to go with my gut. And number 2 is the only one I have not reviewed on a podcast, so you can't go back and listen to more in depth. I don't believe, but I've talked about it many a time. And that's Stern's Jurassic Park. Stern Jurassic Park Premium, but Pro is actually really great too. LE, I guess. LE or LE 30, whatever you want. To put it to bed, the T-Rex head grabbing the ball and whatever, like everyone has said, it gets old after a while. Owning it, it's cool, but not needed. The thing that's needed, I think, is the Raptor Gate. It's just and needed is kind of in quotes. The Pro in that is fantastic, but because it's my favorite. It'd be number one if it's like, what game do you want to play the most? It's Jurassic Park. But the theme is good, good to great. I like Jurassic Park. I like movies. Whatever. It's not. I don't have a bedroom of Jurassic Park. Yeah. Or any of that. But dinosaurs, they're sweet. The shots feel great. The rules are second to none. Again, there's always negatives, but this game speaks to me. It's a very relaxing game for me. It's kind of the opposite of Iron Man, to where Jurassic Park is like, all right, I'm going to turn it on. The music's going to start. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, all right, strap in. You can trap the ball a lot. You can post pass really easy. You can kind of just, all right, I got to take my shots. There's hurry ups. Aside from the smart missile, I'm like the hurry ups aren't like you have to hit it now, which I really appreciate. Sure, the rescues over time, the dinosaurs will eat them, and the more you go, the farther you go throughout the paddocks, yeah. But as long as you have enough rescues to kind of make your way through it, you don't need to freak out about every single one. For those who don't play it much, rescues is kind of a part of the, I'll say, mode. You need to hit them. You need to hit these people to collect their shots before the dinosaur gets to that and eats them and cancels it, basically. So it's kind of a hurry up, but it's a very slow hurry up. I don't like games with a lot of hurry ups. Hello, Star Wars. Like, I don't want to be stressed out when I'm playing. If I want a quick, fast game, I'll play something like Iron Man or Black Knight. If I want a slow and relaxing game, I'll play Jurassic Park and another. But if it's, no, play exactly how I need you to play. Hit the hurry up. I don't like being forced to play a certain way in that sense. I get that there's certain rules, but hit this. Like, I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to. But, I'm playing your game, I guess, in that scenario, which is very Asian, callback, way of Nintendo's philosophy in some of their games. Zelda, Mario, more so Zelda. They are like, this is the product we've made, and we want you to play it a certain way, and that's cool. It works a lot of times, but in pinball, I don't like it. Again, if money were no object and quantity of pinball machines were a thing, then hurry ups wouldn't be. Okay, enough. I'm going down a fucking rabbit hole on hurry ups. Back to Jurassic Park. I love the slowness of it. If you want to take it at that speed. It's very clear of what to do. The sounds are great. The shots are great. I don't know. There's not really much to fault about it. The O shot is difficult, but you want to have some difficult shots. There's so many. I love most of the shots in that game. Damn, Jurassic Park. Yeah, I love playing it. I don't know if it's one that, like, when you have like a 45 or an hour long game, I'm just guessing, the very long ones where you get to like the visitor center and you've done so much and oh my God, holy shit. Oh, do you want to push start again? Not right away. Maybe, go vent by, kicking the wall or smashing your head against some glass, however you need to do it. Take a line of cocaine before you come back and play it again. But while you're playing it, you're in it. So I guess that leaves one left. You probably guessed it. It's a game I've owned way too many times, and it's ridiculous. I guess it's not ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous to other people that have owned this so many times, which is odd that you care. But that's Stern's Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings when it comes to theme, there isn't a pinball machine that. This sounds so weird. There isn't a pinball machine that theme means more to me than this game. Lord of the Rings is, well, so in context, love the movies. The movies turned me on to it. Fellowship of the Ring, I saw it, and I, was wowed by it. I was in my very early 20s, if not like 19, whatever year it came out. Loved it. I was really drawn to the relaxing Shire aesthetic, aside from the story, all the it's great. It's one of my favorites of all times. But the Shire specifically, and what continues to kind of like in my head, honestly, like it relaxes me just thinking about it. I'm one that very much obsesses over things or puts a lot of energy, a lot of my mind is just constantly. That's just me. I'm just telling you. So that really grounds me a lot. The kind of seeing it, thinking about it, Lord of the Rings, thinking about all the meaning of just, it's not really super deep, but, obsessing over something and how letting it go is very freeing. I mean, as simple as that, to me, it's a reminder to breathe, honestly, like it's kind of what Lord of the Rings is to me. I've made the Middle Earth maps in wood. I have a wooden one that I've made and I've burned and finished it and everything. I've made custom frames for some art that my wife has bought me. I have a lot of the Gentle Giant busts of Lord of the Rings, a couple posters. I have no admittance except party business doormat. I'm not like a Tolkien obsessive, or whatever. It gives it a negative connotation, right? Like how a lot of us are just huge fans of Lord of the Rings, and count me in as a fella Tolkien buff. I find it, Lord of the Rings means a lot to me, and the game reflects a lot of that from the atmosphere of the warm incandescent lights, and when you start the game and more so pin sound, I guess. You can get that theme in there, which just relaxes me. Fun fact, I live in Wisconsin. The winters are terrible. We have a hot tub in the back, and one of my favorite things to do, again, in the realm of relaxing, is, surprisingly, sit in the hot tub, but is listening to something called the Hobbit Calm Mix, which is someone on YouTube who took some of the Tolkien music and just took all the kind of calm, the Shire theme and all that stuff and put it into a mix. And I play it on my phone and I sit in the hot tub out and looking at the stars at night in the cold and sitting in a hot tub. Highly recommended. So the game gets me in that mood. It can. The golden, warm, white parchment paper look of the whole thing. It's a game that I have just as much fun looking at and like cleaning and changing out the lights and just thinking about it as I do playing it, if not more than playing it. As I said earlier, if there's one game on here that I would first place as playing, it would be Jurassic Park. But a close second would be Lord of the Rings, when I've had that break of not playing an hour and a half game and of just destroying the ring a couple times and trying to get to Valinor and like, am I wasting my life? What am I doing? Holy shit, what have I done? And I sell it, But I've owned it a few times. The LE, the regular beat to shit ones, one with like 40 plays on it, like basically brand new. And the ones that play the best are like the ones that have a lot of plays. I don't know. The LE to me was my, I think, worst playing game. I don't know if it's the extra clear coat, but I don't know. I've played games with the super power flippers, whatever they're called, the stronger coils. I've played them with fans, with regular flippers, with fans, no fans, you name it, rebuild. I've done all of it. And at the end of the day, some of that is charm. That like when you're getting to destroy the ring, I just need to get it up that ramp, you bitch. Some of that is just part of it. And I've talked about it recently. Last episode, was it? When I was talking about Stranger Things? I gushed about Lord of the Rings. So you get it. You get it. You probably turn it off by now. But yeah, my number one is Lord of the Rings from theme, shots and layout. Yeah, second to none, in my opinion. Sound, especially with pin sound, second to none. Otherwise, you can't blame White Star. It's pretty bad quality, but the sound is great. The calls are great. Shots are great. Art is great. Lighting's great. Theme is, man, oh man. If there was what's your one game, Desert Island? It's no question Lord of the Rings. No question. Will I play it every day? No. Will I go months without playing it? Absolutely. If it was, hey, you can never buy another pinball machine again. Lord of the Rings. Easy. No question. Just I'd have it and that's it. Because you could not always go for Valinor or go for, even Destroy the Ring or There and Back and just say, like, you know what? I'm just going to do the Fellowship of the Ring multi-ball and have everyone escape. That's hard enough, man. I mean, shit. I've maybe done it once, I think, but I never really try. It's like once I get to Fellowship, I'm like, well, yeah, I'll do well enough. I'm really just trying to destroy the ring and whatever. So I don't care if I, have everyone escape, but you know what I'm talking about when you do, you hit Balrog and then you hit one of the ramps and feels good. A little dopamine. So number one, Lord of the Rings. Let's go through this list real quick again. The honorable mentions were Black Knight Sword of Rage and Addams Family. Number 5 was Stern Star Trek. Either the LE or Pro or Premium, honestly, whatever. Ghostbusters, I didn't say it, but Pro. Iron Man Vault Edition is the only one I've owned. Is there a big difference? No, but come on, get the Vault Edition. Jurassic Park, any of them, but Premium. And Lord of the Rings. Actually, not the limited edition. Well, thanks for spending your last 41 minutes with me talking about my 5 favorite games, a couple stragglers, and, talking about, I guess, whatever's Expo next week. If you have any, questions, comments, concerns, email me at pinballpartypodcast@gmail.com. Go buy your pinball machines at Flippin' Out, where you get fantastic customer service, and that's no lie. Even when I'm not doing this, that's who I'm dealing with. What's up, Zach? Hey, Joel. Hey, Kale. Hey, Rachel. Go listen to Electric Bat Arcade podcast, Electric Bat Cast. Go check out Nap Arcade for all your news. I hope everyone has fun at Expo. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with all these top 5 lists, and maybe next time we'll do bottom 5. All right. Thanks for joining. We'll see you later.